What's going on, guys? Conforti Brothers here for another video, and as you guys can tell, we are back in the E55 AMG. Yeah, it's a bit oh god, what a disaster. So if you guys don't follow along on our Conforti Brother Instagram, which you probably should follow, if you don't, you're missing out. Matt, tell them what happened.
Oh man, so you guys, if you were following along, you would know we had a problem with the battery draining, and it was a pretty bad one. The car actually drained completely about, what, overnight?
Oh yeah, overnight it was done.
Basically overnight. Like what happened is, like the first time it happened, the battery protection light came on in the dash. The car still started, but it was a weak startup. And
let it sit for a while.
So we thought, oh, maybe maybe like a LED or something went up something on. So we just started the car, let it run, drove it around, charged up fine, and then we let it sit. What was it?
Not even like 5-6 hours.
Yeah, outside while we were working in the garage.
That battery was done.
And we went to go start it, and the dash didn't even light up. Like it was completely like dead, like toasted. And
the car unlocked though.
Yeah, well the car unlocked, yeah, but like the dash, like, it didn't even show the mileage on it. It was completely dead. I don't even know how it unlocked. But so what we do first, that
battery was toasted, by the way, so we had to go get a new main battery.
Yeah, the battery wasn't even that old. It was a good Bosch battery. It was like 3 years old, and we went ahead.
You know what sucks? Hold on. You know what sucks about the battery? That battery was a Bosch battery. It was 2.5. It was. I wasn't even 3.
It wasn't even 3 yet.
It was 2.5 years old, and it was the really good Bosch. So it had the full 3-year free replacement.
Yeah.
And no one around us in the Pittsburgh area that we could find carried that Bosch battery, or in general, so we could.
Yeah. See, there was a couple places that
so we didn't get a free battery.
They sold Bosch, but they said they sold Bosch, but when we called them, they said, oh well, we can't really, But long story short, and the AutoZone Advanced near us, they didn't even have a battery for this car, so we literally had to buy one at Walmart. It's the only place that had.
We saved a lot of money. We got a 5-year replacement battery for $128.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. So we ended up replacing the main battery, and we thought, oh, this is all good, everything's good now. And we drove it.
We drove for a week with the new battery.
Yeah, and then it ended up dying on us again. And I went ahead and ran our little diagnostic tool on the car. It scans all the modules. And there was all kind of like different error codes because the car had low voltage because of the battery. So we didn't really know what the hell was going on with it.
Another disaster.
And I noticed, though, they said the auxiliary battery was, it needed replaced. It was weak. And we tested it, it was weak, so we replaced that too.
And we were really hopeful on that, because if you guys don't know, when Alex Palmieri had the E55, well, I think wasn't it on the list of things that needed replaced?
Yeah, it said the
aux battery was bad.
The aux battery needed
replaced. So we milked that baby for almost 3 years.
Well, it said it was bad, but I think what happened was when you don't drive the car, the battery doesn't get charged, and it says it's dead when really it's not. So we went ahead and replaced that. Got a Mercedes-Benz genuine battery for that.
$130.
Yeah, it's like $130. And same problem, the car, it still died on us. And so then what we did was, I think I cleared out all the error codes, retested everything, and the only ones that came back, there was one that came back for the siren and the front wheel well for the alarm. Yeah. And tested that, and no luck.
The siren is shot.
The siren doesn't work. We tried,
but it's not draining the battery.
Yeah, we pressed panic, nothing worked. But we unplugged it and tested it with our little meter. And it still wasn't drawing any power. It didn't change. It was still drawing, what, 2.5 amps?
2.5 amps. So
it was a pretty significant draw. It wasn't something.
Yeah. Minor. So as you guys can imagine, if you guys follow us on Instagram, you guys know we are all over the place. We asked everybody. I think we had 123 or 125 people message us trying to help us, which we really appreciate that, because you guys, a lot of people were, trying different things that we didn't know about on these cars.
Yeah, and we looked at all the forums. We saw all of the common problems. Like, I think one of the biggest ones, well, the siren one was an interesting one, even that wasn't our problem. The other big ones were the passenger seat module. That was a big one. A couple people said, oh, maybe your alternator's like a diode in there, something not working.
Alternator's fine.
The alternator was fine. That was all fine.
Voltage regulator fine.
Yeah, we checked all the fuses. It was fine. And what we ended up doing was we actually for the seats, because that was a big one, and I actually had error codes for the seats, but also for both of them. I was like, oh, this ain't right. Maybe the low voltage on the battery has something to do with it.
That was the most common thing too.
Yeah, and I thought maybe it set the codes up. I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and check them. So we went ahead and unplugged the passenger seat, tested the battery, and it was still drawing like over 2.5 amps.
2.5 amps.
So we're like, okay, maybe we'll try both of them. What the hell? So we unplugged both of them, still pulling amps. And so we said, screw this is way over our head now. And some people said maybe your head unit's defected, your dome light maybe your sunroof, something's wrong.
So we took it to the shop, we took it to the pros.
We took it to the professionals. They had it for
3 days.
And they worked on it for
3.5 days.
3.5 days, yeah. And so they found out that it was coming from the F81 module, I think,
which is the one up here in the front.
Yeah, on the side of when you open the door, so on the side of the dash.
It's like all the electronics up here.
And they ended up finding out that it actually was the passenger seat, but the funny thing is,
here's a catch of this.
It's actually both seats. They actually found out that both seats are drawing power, but I told them that we tested the seats too, and what he said was there's 2 connections on the front of each module on the seats. I only unplugged one on each, so you have to actually unplug both of them on each seat.
And here's the thing too, what he did, he unplugged the passenger seat, because that's obviously the most common for like the seats. And he said even after he unplugged the passenger side, it was still drawing over an amp. So then he said, well, let me unplug the driver's side. So he noticed that
then it went down to normal.
It went down to 30 mega amps, I think it is. Is that right? Mega amps?
Yeah,
I don't know. It went back to normal
after.
So the driver's side is actually fine, but the problem is you have to disconnect both, because the passenger one is actually drawing power, so they must work together. He said he works on a lot of German, a lot of Mercedes, and he replaced modules all the time. He said he's never seen anything like this. We've never seen anything like this. Read about it.
He said never had an issue or like a scenario where both were bad. Now he said there's a chance that they maybe both aren't bad. He said for sure change the passenger, but there's still
what he thinks.
He said there still might be a chance your driver one's bad, but he said it's very unusual that you have to actually disconnect both seats.
Yeah, so it's actually both.
Weird.
We didn't do both at the same time. We disconnected the passenger side and
we did both at the same time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Or not all the
we just didn't.
But yeah,
I disconnect both.
He said both have to be fully disconnected. All the wires. And
2 on the front. There's two big ones on each one.
So and he disconnected. And he found out that's what it was. 2.5 amps both. But he thinks mostly it's the passenger side that's drawing current from the driver too.
He recommends changing.
The driver drawing current. Either way, both have to be disconnected.
Yeah, he recommends changing the passenger first and then seeing what that does with the driver, because I mean, like we said, there's still a significant draw even when you just unplug the passenger seat. So there could be a chance that both are bad. We don't know.
He's never seen it. It's rare.
Yeah, for right now, what we did was we just put the seats to where we like them, and we just disconnected both of them, so we don't have to worry about changing those. Because
that's probably gonna be a summer job.
They're a little on the pricey side. I think FCP Euro sells them for $240 each.
$240, and I think Mercedes is $300 each.
Yeah, so if they're both bad, it's gonna be a little pricey fix. But I mean,
and if it's at the dealer job,
yeah, for right now, it's not really a big problem for us, because like I said, we're basically the same height, so we just set the seat and we're good to go. We're not gonna move them.
Get the headrest down, everything's in the seat, so we're pretty good.
We haven't set a comfortable position, but yeah, we'll probably end up changing the passenger one first just to see how it goes. Obviously, if the driver one's bad too, we'll change that. But for right now,
what a disaster it's been.
For right now, we're just gonna leave it the way it is.
So I think, and the guy he gave us a hell of a deal on the price too. I won't say just whatever, but I mean it was
really helped us out.
Put it this way, he had it for 3.5 days, and it's cheaper than buying just one module. So it was a good deal.
He helped us out big time, so we appreciate that. It's so nice having a car back, because we've been driving just the C280 around for the past few days while we didn't have it. Actually, before that, we were driving the C-Class around for the past like 2 weeks, because we didn't want to drive us anywhere. We were afraid it was going to die on us.
So this is a 2.5 week issue we had, and so we haven't been driving the car. Which
and I'll tell you what, it's crazy though when you drive the C-Class for like 2 weeks and get back in this. This was like a freaking race car.
I mean we're used to this. I mean, this is the E55's been our daily drive for going on almost 3 years. So when you get into like the 280 and drive that for, I mean it's like a huge downgrade, but it's still a nice car. But then once you get back into this, we put 100 miles. We got this back yesterday.
Yeah.
We put 100 miles on this baby, and we were so freaking. We had a smile all it was nice.
Oh my god, it was so nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time with the C280, but I'm finally glad to be back in this car.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
This thing's a freaking beast.
But for everybody that helped us on Instagram, we appreciate that. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram, follow us at the Conforti Brothers. And I
say there's a lot of people that gave us a lot of suggestions, which really helped us out, because we were able to tell our mechanic, like, hey, here's what everybody was telling us. Maybe you can keep that in mind when you're looking for the problem. But I think there's a lot of people that said it was the seat module.
Just didn't know it was going to be both seats at the same time.
Yeah, we just didn't know it was going to be both at the same time. Yeah. It's something. It's a first, I guess.
I mean, when you look on the forums, which we did, we did heavy research on this.
I searched every file. I even looked at non-211s.
It's like 1% of people have the issue where it's both seats at the same time, and we're the 1%. But then again, we got a lot of miles, so we might be we're in unmarked. Somebody actually messaged us and said we're in the unmarked territory now because of the miles in this car.
That's all new stuff.
So I guess he was right in a way. We're in unmarked territory. So
yeah,
but we got the car back.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have this thing back.
Now I'm just waiting for something else to go. But that's just how it is when you have a car like this.
Yeah, it's always going to be something. You have to kind of expect that when you have an old car, a lot of miles, a lot of usage.
We're driving it a lot.
Just it's going to wear out eventually. It's going to last forever. But
well, we just wanted to come on here, guys, and let you guys know what was wrong with the E55. We got it back. We're happy.
I don't think anybody guessed both.
No one. 123 or 125 people messaged us on Instagram. No one told us that do both at the same time. Everybody said passenger seat, if not driver.
So I guess the people that said passenger seat,
they were right in a way,
but half right.
They're half right, so you guys get credit for being half right. And but that's pretty much it. So follow us on Instagram, give us a video a like, share it. Don't dislike it because there's no reason to dislike it.
Why would you dislike this video?
No negativity.
What's not to like in this video?
I mean, we did a little update here.
I mean, there's gonna be that one person before you watch.
Just a couple of Italians over, a couple of Italian, give you a little update on E55. So no reason to dislike it. But that's pretty much it. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Oh man, forget how fast this car is. Listen to the RPMs.
Oh, it sounds like a jet.